we go. Okay, you guys, why do I feel so nervous? I feel so nervous. What an honor to always like just be able to be on this or even just hosting it when the Duns are away, but I'm a little bit nervous because I know they have high expectations, but I'm excited. So I asked her like if she wanted me to talk about anything specific, and she said, whatever is on your heart. So I just reached out to some ladies in my downline that just stood out to me, and we are honestly going to jump from topic to topic, but I feel like all 5 of our topics are significant for where we are at in this season. Now, mind you, I know, wow, where is Chelsea? I'm getting stressed here. Mind you, I know that some people hate the word season. I know that, but I believe in seasons. I believe that there is a season for everything. And I'm just going to be honest and just kick us off right now and say that I'm not happy with the way October went. And I'm not going to start off by like being negative. That's not what I want, but I just want to be relatable. And I kind of want to know like who can relate to me in this season, in this moment. If you are not happy with how October went, and maybe you're to blame, like me, I'm so to blame. I had a discipline issue and I don't know why, but it was just very hard for me to stay disciplined. If you can relate to me, will you just put like a 2 in the chat just so I know that I'm at least speaking to one person? And so honestly, waking up this morning and having it be November 1st, I just kind of was annoyed. And I wasn't annoyed at anyone specifically. I was annoyed at myself because I knew I could work harder. And it was something, I was talking about this on a mini coffee chat this morning. And I'm like, what was it? Like, what was the issue? And I wonder if it was because I finished my Christmas cash earlier in the month. And then I kind of just got in my head with like, now I can just chill. And that's not the case. I actually want to do my Christmas cash like 3 times, but I just got in my head. And so I hope that what I talk about tonight, before I just pass it off to Bethany, I just hope that at least one person can relate to this. And you guys, I just want you to leave with at least one thing that you're like, that's all I needed. That's all I needed to at least get through this week. Maybe we don't want to think about this month as a whole, and we can't even fathom like December 1st, like 30 days from now, but let's just think about until the Duns get on Zoom a week from now, like what can I do to make your week better? I'm in this position where I got out a task list again. I will send this picture. One day Zoom is going to let us put pictures in the chat room. One day. Who knows when that is though, but I will send this picture because I know you guys can't see it. But I think this is Tessie Carter's. I don't know. I cannot take credit for it, but it's a task list and it's literally 6 days. So I think it says, yeah, this goes to Saturday, but Saturdays are a lot of people on our team Sabbath. So like I would change that to Sunday if it were up to me. But this is a task sheet, you guys, and it is a loaded task sheet. It's like you mark down your self-development. There's 6 post/story like categories if you want to do those every day, showing yourself using a product in your stories every day, sending out happy birthday messages, picking 25 people on Facebook and on Instagram and liking and commenting and interacting on their post, friend requesting 25 on Facebook and Instagram, inviting 10 people to be distributors, and then there's a follow-up, and then there's a category for 10 host posts, and you write down your host posters. Now you guys, I have been working very hard today and I'm not even finished with this. So like, here's what I want to say. When I send this picture to Steph and then she'll probably post it to her team page, don't give yourself grace. Like, don't look at this and be like, I have to get it done. For me, I'm not looking at it as like, let's get a perfect day all 6 days of the week. Mine is like, this keeps me grounded. So how can I at least do 75% of it? And you guys, even though this is a loaded list, I'm not going to do it all day long. Honestly, I'm doing clusters of time. And that's what I wanted to talk to you guys about. I wonder if I had a discipline issue because I didn't want to do It Works 12 hours a day. I don't know. Maybe that was it. And so honestly, I've just been like, I'm not waking up early every single day. I'm figuring out day by day, when I go to bed tonight, what does my day look like tomorrow? What are some things that I can't control in my schedule that have nothing to do with It Works that are going to keep me busy? Going to the gym. We have a meeting. We're signing the papers for our land. We have things that are going to keep me busy. So tomorrow is probably a day that I'll wake up extra early to get in clusters of little tasks in, okay? And so that was one thing that I knew I needed help with, was just I needed to go back to a checklist, and I don't like that. I actually hate checklists. I don't like to do one thing for a long period of time, but that's what I need right now, because if I leave it up to myself, I will just be a little bit lazy, and I just know that's the season I'm in, and that's okay to hold yourself accountable in that way. The other thing we're doing is we just made an accountability chat, and it's nothing crazy, but we just reached out to some people on our team and we said, are you like people that we knew were still working? Because what I found was I was focused on all the people that weren't working. I was really angry instead of focusing on that group of people that are hustling and that are honestly the closest thing to the fire. And I realized I was almost drained because I wasn't staying close to the fire, which sounds really crazy to hear like a top leader say that, but I struggle with it too. I was so focused on what I couldn't control. So we just reached out to some people like literally as of this morning and said, hey, I know you're hustling. You want an accountability chat? And we just plan to use this chat to just be like, hey, here's my host post. Hey, here's a task today. Hey, here's a screenshot. It's not necessarily for questions. It's like these people, this is the fire and we want to stay close to it and stay up in that area. Okay, let's see what else. And then the last thing I was going to say, when it comes to these tasks, what I love about this is one of the things we're doing in our accountability chat, which this is going to sound intense to probably a lot of you guys. It's not necessarily like if you don't do this, you're going to get the boot, but it's just the accountability aspect. And what we are doing is we are screenshotting our messenger when we have sent out 100 messages for the day. Now, some people do this. I forgot to mute everybody. Whoops. Some people do this different. Like I know Ariane, I think she only counts her like host to post asks, which would be 100. I just do 100 messages all total. Like if I was messaging Carrie, that wouldn't count. It would mean follow up. It would be host to post. It would be those that comment on host to post. Now this is a little tedious, but you find that like today I had a bomb day, like perfect. I'm at 14 host posts, but I've only sent 56 messages. That's okay, but I want to shoot for 100. So I'm going to put in more work. Okay. And so what I wanted to end with is with that 100 messages task, I didn't even have to post the giveaway on my wall today. My first 3 host to post were the giveaway host to post. And you guys, that's how I got 14. I had 14 host posts up by 5 o'clock tonight, which I will be honest and tell you, it's probably been at least 2 months that I've gotten 14 host posts up in a day. That's the season I'm in. Okay. So I just tell you that because this is what kept me disciplined. I grabbed my friends list. I started messaging like crazy and I got my tasks done. Okay. So with that being said, I will check out the chat room and see if I can answer any questions. I'm going to pass it to Bethany. Bethany, you shared a picture, which I know they're going to be probably annoyed that they can't get it in the chat room, but you shared a picture this morning with us and you made it up yourself. And I kind of just want you to cover sample cash because again, I couldn't think of something more appropriate for the season we're in to maximize our pay in different ways.
Yes, and actually I created my own sample board. So this graphic that I show you guys is in my sample board and I will drop that below for you guys. Okay, so I'm excited about this. Rach, way to just start it out. And she's so right. With October, it was like weird, but it's almost one of those things that if you could just keep talking about it, we don't want it to like, let's not carry it over into November. We're not going to welcome it into this month, this weirdness. So anyways, I was thinking last night, I always feel like end of month when it happens on Halloween. That was my 3rd or 4th Halloween with month's end. Okay. And it's just always weird, right? Because we want to like work our business. We want to be super present for month's end. We also want to be super present for our kids. You know, I'm a parent. I want to take my kids trick or treating. And so I was just sitting there thinking at like 10:30 at night because my chats were crickets. And I'm like, clearly, you know, none of us are working. It's fine. But I was like, what can I do to go into the next month that not only, and actually Savannah reminded, one of our triples reminded me of this morning, was that you guys, this month is our last paycheck before Christmas. And when she said that, I was like, what? Oh, you're right. Okay. But when I was thinking about that, because we get paid, you know, a month later. So I was thinking about that. I was like, you're right. We don't have November and December. We literally just have November. And I'm sure you guys have heard Heather Juno. I know there's like so many people that have been doing, Ariane on our team kills it with sample cash. I know that there's been so many people that have been talking about sample cash, but the thing for me is that sometimes I just have to decide on my own. Okay. It's like, it's great when everyone else is doing it, but I just decided last night, I was like, it is the last paycheck before Christmas. For the past 2 years, have continued to pay for my Christmas in cash. We went debt free this year and I'm going to keep it that way. I'm not putting our Christmas on credit cards. And whenever I start talking about this around this time of year, and you guys will notice this too, people start getting excited, not only about getting coffee samples, but they see you making all this cash from coffee samples. And they're like, wait, she's paying for her Christmas in cash and she's doing all of these things just because she's selling sample packs. And so not only when you're talking about it all the time, are you talking about the samples and you're getting that out, but people start realizing how much money you're making. And I'm going to, and I don't even care if this is like people think it's weird. I love money and I love watching money grow. And that's just like what feeds me. And so I'm not going to spend a dime out of my Venmo. All this money that I make, I'm just going to be keeping it there and watching it grow and grow and grow and grow. And I'm going to be, you're dang right. I'm going to be screenshotting that and putting that on, like putting that on my Instagram stories and stuff like that and being like, you guys, like met our first goal of $250, guys, met our second goal of $500 or whatever that is. And people are going to be like, wait, how is she doing this? By selling $20 sample packs? Okay, so this is where my brain was last night when our chats were crickets. And so I just made this on or GoDaddy or whatever. I will always call it Over. I don't care who tells me different. It's Over. But here, if you guys like make me, I was gonna say I'm going to speaker it for myself just so I can see. Hold on. Here, I'll spotlight myself. Okay. So you guys see this. It just says November sample cash. Each space is a $20 sample pack, and it's just little things of coffee. And then it says potential to earn $1,200. This is 60 sample packs, you guys. 60 sample packs gets you $1,200 this month. That's literally a comma, okay? A comma. I have to unspotlight myself because I cannot do that. Hold on one second. I'm literally terrible at that. Okay, but why I created this is I'm such a visual person, and there used to be this girl, there was this girl on our team, her name was Ashley Garza, and I actually got this from her, is she talked about, she always killed it with sample cash, okay? Always killed it on sample cash, and she would have it on her fridge, and she talked about the fact that she involved her kids and her family so much with it, and her kids would go up there and they'd be so excited to help her cross one of these off, okay? And they would be like, Mom, wait, that number hasn't moved in a couple days. You haven't sold any sample packs, but it was kind of one of those things that like her kids were keeping her accountable and they knew. And I don't know what I'm going to attach to this because I haven't talked to my kids about it yet. I'm actually going to go do that when we're out of here because I just sold my first one and I'll walk you guys through that in a minute. But just involving them in this, it gets them hyped, which gets me hyped. I love seeing my kids being like, you guys, this is how we're paying for your Christmas. You know, that blah, blah, blah toy that you want, that's $200. Mommy has to sell this many sample packs to be able to get that for you. So like just involving them in, again, like that things don't grow on trees and mommy has to work to be able to provide this for you, and just like showing that kind of stuff. So I do have this sheet for you guys. Let me see. Am I allowed to screen share on here real quick? Rach, will it let me see. It should. Okay, give me one second. It should screen mirror. Okay, perfect. Okay, I'm going to drop this in the comments for you guys 1 second, because this is like my board that I created. Okay. So it's super simple. There's not a ton of stuff in it. And I am not an overly organized person, you guys. And so if my board is not as organized as your guys's, just love me because this is who I am. Okay. So I will show you guys when I go to my board, it's called quick cash. Okay. There's only a few things. There's one, when people reply, that you put up your sample status. So here's the sample status. It's super simple, just sending out skinny coffee packs. I will probably post this once, if not twice a week. I don't care if I keep posting the same one. This status works every single time that I post it. This is what I posted it right before I got on here, and I already had someone Venmo me $20. Okay. So I'm putting this up. I'm putting it on a colored background. And the key, you guys, whenever you're doing sample cash, is right before that, go interact a ton. Okay. Just interact a ton and then post the status. Now, either one of two. If you guys want to use my board that I created, great. You guys will use this one. It just says, hey girl, you just send them this message when they comment, they say that they're ready. You tell them that it's normally $30, but you have free shipping, blah, blah, blah. It's $20. And then they'll give you your information and then you'll ask them how they want to pay. For me, and I hope that you guys do this, is I click on the order form one. So it's basically the same thing, but I've created a Google form, and I'll show you guys. I'll click on it real quick. I've created a Google form that they can click on and they literally fill out everything. Their email, what I have all of these flavors in a lot of like coffee, or in a lot of stock at my house. So I'm willing to do all of these flavors. Now, maybe you can only do the French roast because you're using your sample app. That's totally fine. They put their name, their address, phone number, and then how they pay me. I want them to normally pay me in Venmo, but if they want to do Facebook Pay, you can request it right through Facebook. That works too. And then I put, have you paid yet? Yes or no, because I want to know that before I start sending anything. So this is super, super simple to create. It's just a Google form. You just write all this stuff. Again, you can just go copy and paste, or you can just copy mine exactly to create your own Google form. Now, and then, so I will show you real quick. So the girl that bought, let me go back. Okay, who is the girl that just bought from me? Right here, Stephanie Miller. I sent her this, you guys, at 6:35. Filled out the form, let me know what your Venmo is so I can pay you. Just got it. She sent it. That's how simple. I made 20 bucks. Took me 2 minutes. And you'll do this every single time. When you guys can see when I go to my status real quick, I already have a ton of people commenting on it. So there are probably 5 people because I've replied back. But I took a screenshot and I took a screenshot of the payment. I don't care that it says $20. I want people to see that they're paying me for it. And that other people, I used to be weird about that, but it's like, no, I want people to know that they're paying and that no one else cares. And so every single time it will bump it. So I'm just dedicating myself to this month. Another thing that's in here that you guys will see is every single person that hosts a post for me, a lot of times we'll send them a thank you for host a post to become a distributor. You can also do that for coffee sample cash. So if it's not someone that you want to necessarily join your team, ask them if they want to buy a sample pack from you. And then here's obviously my graphic right here that you guys can print. And then you guys won't do anything with this, but this is just my Venmo thing that I can send to them. But Rach, is there anything that I missed that you could think of?
No, I don't know if you want to add this while I talk, while the next person, Becky, talks, but Beth, if you want, let me send it to you real quick. Okay. I also, this is one more thing too. So she's talking about bumping her posts, but post this in your story too. Here's a graphic. I think everyone uses my graphic for the most part. I just sent it to you, Beth. All you have to do is swap out the screenshot, guys. So this is what it looks like.
Oh yeah, I'll put it in the board.
Yep, she'll add it to the board, and it's one that everybody can use. It says swipe up for coffee, and then all you have to do, I do hide it. I'm weird, but I'll get over it. I just literally swap out who paid every single time, and I put this on my story. So don't forget to utilize every single thing. And if you guys want to go to my story on Instagram, my Google form was just like Bethany's, and then I made a new one. I don't know why I made a new one, actually. I don't know why, but I kind of cut it in half, and I added a picture too. That was a very, very vulnerable picture that I would never put on Facebook, but I wonder like how many people are actually clicking the link. But it's like a picture of my jeans, and like they're really gappy in the back from me losing like 7 pounds last week or 2 weeks ago, or whatever. And I honestly feel like that helps too. So maybe throwing a picture on too. I said like, I'm obsessed with this. You guys can go look. So definitely make it how you guys want. But that Google form, one more thing too, she shared her board, which is so great and helpful. Please do not use her form. The first time I shared my form, or the first time I shared my board with my order customer form, oh my gosh, you know how annoying it is to get a notification that says so-and-so filled the form, and then you're like, this is not my customer, this is someone else, this is such a tease. So make sure you guys do that. That was so helpful, Bethany. People were really mind blown. Okay, Becky, let's move on to you. I don't want to say too much because I also didn't tell you guys this. I told them not to share their story because we only have limited time and we wanted to give you the juice. So I'm sure you guys don't know all of these ladies. They're super awesome, super credible. But Becky, if you will just kind of talk about how last month looked for you and how you've kind of remained positive and kind of switched your mindset according to last month.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So I know we are all talking on kind of different topics. I'm going to kind of more focus on the For and a Friend. So obviously it wasn't announced last month, but it came out in September at the first. And I will just admit that I was not on board with it fully when it was first announced. So if anyone it's okay if you don't want to say, but if you were like a little unsure about it because it was something new, and anyone who knows me, my husband knows me the best, knows that I don't do well with change. I'm a creature of habit. I like to focus on what I know and what I'm good at. And for me, that was like loyal customer enrollments. And For and a Friend was like, okay, if you want to earn this bonus, which I do, I'm also competitive, I'm also very driven, I'm a red personality, then you need to be focusing more on, or definitely be focusing on enrolling distributors. So long story short, it took me a lot of the month of September to really wrap my head around that, from switching my focus to just doing product host to post and just really focusing on customers, to switching to doing distributor host to post. Now, I last month celebrated 1 year in the business, from like starting over again. And it was the first month in that entire year that I did drop rank. And that for sure was a blow, but I was like, I'm not going to let that. Am I going to let that stop me from wanting to earn this Christmas cash? No, of course not. Because you guys, this Christmas cash is huge. They've never done anything like this before. To be able to be paid out such a large amount in one lump sum, that's amazing. That's unheard of. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to let that slip through my fingers. And so I decided I am going to enroll distributors. And I think when you switch your mindset to that and you speak it and you focus on it and you talk about it, it happens. And I did enroll a couple distributors in September. Nothing really came from them. That's okay. That was my practice month. And in October I rolled a couple, but it was more about the quality of people versus I'd say maybe a huge amount of quantity. So I just decided I'm going to focus on helping others. So I basically took the focus on me, and my rank and all those things, and just decided by helping others, you're truly going to in turn get what you want. It might not happen as quickly as what you want it to, but it's going to happen. And it just, the longer you're in your business, the more you realize that this is the way to have more sustainability, right? I know I can't mass enroll 40, 50 customers every single month, but if I can help even 5 people join the business and help them to enroll 10 customers, okay, that's 50 customers I didn't have to enroll. So that sounds pretty great to me. And I do have yellow in me also, so I do like to help others. So I started doing more distributor host to post, and I will put the wording in there that I'm using once I'm done talking, or I'll get distracted trying to do it right now. And so by doing that and finding people, like I think you can be a little bit picky when it comes to enrolling distributors. I wanted to have people that wanted to work, that realized this was going to be work, and connecting with them after I had, done our back and forth chatting, had them watch an opportunity video, and those who were coming back to me after watching the video and we're still excited and interested, that's who I wanted to talk to on the phone. You maybe heard other leaders talking about doing these phone interviews. So speaking to them on the phone, getting to know them, building that relationship with them has made a difference. Has it taken more time? Of course. But now I've got these 2 girls who, one has already completed her first 4 and a friend, and she joined like mid to end of last month. How exciting is that? But helping them, not only just me wanting to get my Christmas cash, which of course I do, I want to be able to say I helped at least 3 people earn the Christmas cash as well, that came in new. Yes, I want the girls that have been on my team existing to earn it too, and I'm so proud of them, but I want to help 3 new people to earn it as well. And so the distributor hosted posts have been amazing, you guys. I know you hear the goal of get 10 hosted posts up a day. Maybe you switch your focus to half of those being about the business, half of them being about products, or, we talked about giveaways. You just decide what that ratio is for what you need to focus on. But for me, this first half of the month, it's definitely distributors. I know the customers will come. I share about the products on my page. I share about them on my stories. So they will come. But I just think now that I've really gotten on board with the 4 and a friend, I think it's a great thing. And I'm excited for it, because who knows if I would have really been focusing a ton on distributors. I am kind of a person who's like, well, if they're not going to do it, then I'm just going to do it myself. I'll just mass enroll customers, but that's not what the company wants us to have to do. And yeah, I think that's all I have, unless you have anything else, Rachel, that you want me to share.
No, that was perfect, Becky. And I don't know, like, can anyone relate to like her last statement of like, she's the type of person, like, and I know she's not alone in that. She just might be one of the few that can admit it, that, it's hard when you are used, like she's a mass enroller for customers, she is. And it's hard when you get stuck in there, or not stuck in that, because it's a blessing. Obviously there are perks to that too, but it's very easy to get caught up in just, I'll just do it for them because I'm already signing them. So, I just love that you shared that. It was kind of hard for you once this was announced. And I think it's really comforting for those to hear, because just because something's announced doesn't mean everybody's on board right away. And this is why you have to stay close to the fire so you can change your mindset. And I'm just so thankful that you said that. Okay, well, you share the host
Yeah.
of posts. I'll share the wording right after, you guys. I'm just like, wow, I wasn't going to share all this stuff. Not because I'm trying to hide it, just because, man, it takes a long time. But I have these scripts labeled once Becky posts the DT host post, because what her DT host post says is at the end, it says text me, right? And so people will text you, and then you're like, who are these people? So I'll send you the scripts I use. And I think I got some of them from Ashley Blom Fluker. Whoa, sorry, Ashley, if she watches this recording, I just use her maiden name, but I'll send them once Carrie starts talking. Carrie, let me tee you up. And let me see, where are we at here? just switched my notes. Okay, Carrie, kind of same thing as Becky in the sense of like, I don't remember if it was at the end of September or the beginning of October, but you too kind of like, I want to use the word funk lightly, but like you were in a little funky, weird space, and kind of just like where you were at and how you got over it pretty fast after you acknowledged it. Kind of just like if you want to talk about where your headspace was at.
You can totally say it was a funk. It was a big funk. Okay. So, I mean, I feel like everybody, I'm Carrie, by the way. I feel like everybody, we don't like to talk about our struggles. It's like almost taboo. And when you start being successful, I'm a lifetime double, and I hadn't lost rank up until recently. Kind of, me and Becky have very similar stories. It's like a blow because you have all these eyes on you, and you're almost feeling shame. And so I had like a total meltdown at the end of the month in September. I like wouldn't even talk to my kid or my fiance, and I was like, I just need to be alone. I need to cry because I was so disappointed. But like Becky, I was a mass enroller. I can enroll customers in my sleep. And when you are not being picky with distributors or not even trying to sign distributors, you end up doing the work for the ones that you have. And that's how I am. I'm very red. I'm very just like, I'll just do it. But that doesn't create a strong foundation. And eventually my foundation started to kind of crumble. And it was happening so fast that I was like, I don't even know how to catch up. And like close to the fire is so important because I started stepping away from the fire. I was very much in a comfort zone before Foreign and Friend. I was just doing all the work for everybody. I went to Winner's Circle. I mean, because of mass enrolling and being acknowledged on such a high level also creates a little bit of pressure. And so when the foundation started crumbling, we say we get paid for the work we did 3 months ago. We say that all the time. And that is so true because 3 months ago, from when I first started noticing volume dropping, and summertime, people kind of dip out. They're living their lives. Their kids are out of school. They're on vacation. So things were crumbling, and I was like, wow, had I been really focused on DT enrollment and leading from the front, not just like, I'll just do it for you, this wouldn't have happened. And so while I had a meltdown and I had a moment where, we're all human, I decided that I reached out to Rachel. I reached out to Sideline Sisters. Like, I have a great upline. Rachel's included, and it's just I needed every piece of everything from everybody I could get because I know I belong here. And when you know you belong somewhere, the struggles suck, but they shouldn't stop you from your ultimate goal, right? Like I will be ambassador one day, like whether that takes 5 years or 10 years, I don't care. I'm here for the long haul. When you're in your CEO's living room praying with him, you're in the right place. So I had a second, I freaked out, and then I decided to get close to the fire. And I realized that, like Rachel said, I don't want to work 12 hours a day. I burned myself out. And so taking a step back and realizing that if I did focus on distributors, I did teach them how to enroll because I know how to enroll customers. And also, like Becky said, be picky, because with customers, you don't have to be picky. Anybody can buy coffee. You don't care what their background is, what their work ethic's like, what their struggles or their why is. You don't care. And so in order to attract a distributor that you want, you have to be vulnerable. And that is so scary. And so you have to be yourself, and you have to put yourself out there so that you can attract yourself. And you also have to be picky with who you're going to let in. And so in doing that, I completed my 4-in-1 twice this last month. And my first one has already signed 4 customers. We're just waiting for her to sign her friend. But I feel like, so had I been doing that 3 months ago, this wouldn't have been happening. But now, because I started in September, even though I had a meltdown at the end of the month, I started in September, and I am now seeing those sprouts. Like, maybe they're not flowers yet, but I'm seeing the more potentials I have, the more people that are on my Facebook, even in my algorithm, who are more like me, like who have boys or kids or who are football moms or who go to church. Like it's just because I'm interacting with the people who are like me and I'm putting myself out there, so I'm attracting it. Also, I'm balancing my life more. Like Rachel said, I'm getting in chunks of intentional time, not just time where you tell yourself you're working, but really you're scrolling. Like if you're going to scroll, interact, be intentional with the time that you put in, because I mean, we're here for the freedom, not to work 12 hours a day. Like we preach to potentials. It's freedom. You work when you want, but then we work 12 hours a day and we do all the work for our teams. It's about the balance. So I feel like me letting go, letting go is a big thing because I am a control freak. And so being like, you know what, there's nothing I can do. This is happening. The only thing I can do is kind of turn it around. And so I started, now you guys don't really know my story, but I joined 4.5 years ago and I did nothing for 3 years. So I restarted once, and March of last year, I can restart again. Like I quickly promoted. I just need the right mindset. So I feel like balance, focusing on distributors, because that is what this company is about. We're about changing lives, not just selling coffee. And what I wrote something else down, and just leaning into discomfort. Like it is so uncomfortable to be vulnerable. It is so we have this taboo of like it's shame, it's a breeding place for fear, but really it's also the breeding place for growth and for love and for wonderful things. Like you can't say you love somebody without being vulnerable. We're not promised that they're going to love us back or that they're going to love us tomorrow. Or so just, if I can tell you guys anything, just learn to be yourself and be like okay with that, and really focus on teaching others that, because you're gonna just bring in so many people who are like you. And if that's what you want, right? Like I would love a team of Carries. Like if I could have a team of Carries, I would be ambassador. I'd be Black Diamond. So just learn that it's okay if you struggle. I think we need to talk about it more, because I don't know that there's one ambassador in our entire company who has not lost rank, who has not struggled, who has not dealt with something that holds them back. So just lean into it, be yourself, and really focus on building your team, and the customers will come. I promise.
This is so good. And I was wondering what the theme was, because I'm just like, I don't know. I'm like notorious for I don't know, whatever sticks out to us, let's do it. There's not always like a rhyme or reason, but I feel like now as you guys all speak, I feel like what I'm gathering is, if I didn't know what this whole itinerary was, but what I'm hearing, and I hope you guys are hearing the same, is like, we were either in a funky place or we were annoyed with how things were going, and we changed our mindset. New month, new mindset. And I just love that you brought that up, Carrie. And I think at the end of the day with vulnerability, you guys, why we have to talk about it more is because if you think you're alone, you isolate yourself. And there's nothing good that comes with isolation. It's lonely, it's dark. I mean, I still do it to myself. I'm in therapy for that, but it feels yucky to feel alone. And so I just wish, like you said, Carrie, it needs to be spoken about more, honestly. But I don't know if you guys also gathered this, but as people were speaking on here, they were talking about how maybe they were in a funk, or maybe they lost their rank, but they were also coming up with a solution. They weren't just like, oh, this company sucks and my team sucks and all of this. Like maybe they did that on their own time. They didn't do it on here. They're problem solving, not problem searching. And so if you're on this and you're like, after this, I'm going to my upline, I'm going to tell her everything, and then I'm going to get over it. Like, make sure you do it in the right way. I can relate to someone more better who comes to me and is like, here's what I'm feeling. This is what it looks like. What would you change? Rather than just like, pity party, like, wow, like 5-minute voice messages. We don't need all of that. Okay. So I hope you took that from some of these stories. It just has me really inspired to know that we're all human, and I don't want any of you guys to put yourself in isolation. It's just yuck. So last but not least, Chelsea. Chelsea has a lot of things she could really talk about. And so I don't really know what she's going to talk about, but what I do know, part of what I know is that she is about to, if she hasn't already, already in the last 36 minutes. She's about to complete her second Christmas cash. She joined me in January. She's made a lot of money. She's very odd. It's very odd because she's just like a rare breed. So anyways, so Chelsea, if you want to talk, but even I'm pumping her up, but even though I say that, she had to deal with some yucky stuff last month as well. You would not know it though. So Chelsea, whatever's on your heart.
Just nod real quick so you can hear me. Yeah, okay, good. Okay, so I have actually a lot to say, and I'm actually so excited to wrap this up for everyone because Carrie, Becky, Bethany, Rachel, I have related to all of you, like everything that you said in so many ways. I have bullet points. So Rachel, you're right. Who knows what I'm going to say at this point, because there is so much that's on my heart. And I'm never really super emotional, but there is something that I want to say is that we are all human. So I have been that person that'll enroll 70 people. I'm a very red personality as well. Give me a chart, give me some boxes, I'll fill it all out and I'll celebrate myself with a big paycheck, making more money from this opportunity that I even ever knew was possible. Like Rachel said, I did join her in January. I can relate to Carrie in a lot of ways. In July, my team went a little quiet because it's summertime, people get busy. So what did I do? I enrolled, I think 70 or 80 customers. It was my birthday month. We were on a vacation and I was more focused on enrolling the customers. I still had a great time, but I was still working my tail off on probably like looking back, I probably could have enjoyed myself a little bit more, but that's what I wanted to do at the time. And that's what like God had in store for me then. So what I want to touch on is a lot about mindset because this business, I remember people saying like, you're doing great, but you can hit a burnout at one point. Like you can enroll 70 customers, but it gets really exhausting and lonely. And I would tell my husband, like, Jaden, I don't know what they're talking about. This is the easiest money I've ever made in my whole life. This is so much fun enrolling this many customers. Like, I don't know who could ever be sick of this. Well, when the company announces a new bonus, and I remember like, I think in September or August, I'm sorry, before the bonus was announced, I was like, okay, no one's working. It's still summer, another 70 or 80 customers. Like, how am I going to go about doing this? Like, how am I going to do it again? And so I think I reached out to Rachel mid-month. I go, hey, Rach, I need your help. I don't know how to sign distributors the way I want to. And she goes, we just go over a few things. And I sign a few that month. They sign a couple of their own distributors. There's Christmas cash right there. Well, it hadn't been announced on September 1st. So when it was announced on September 1st, I already believed it because it happened to me the month before. I had 2 girls sign 2 distributors, sign customers, the whole cycles can be complete. So when September 1 came, again, red personality, I see a chart. It says 4 and a friend, do it again. Everyone's around me. I'm on the family call. I'm like, okay, 4 and a friend, let's do it again. And I did it in 6 weeks. But okay, so this is very ironic that Rachel asked me to come on here and talk tonight because we have 6 weeks left to do this. So I did it the first time in 6 weeks. So if you're on here and you're like, I don't even know how to sign a distributor. I've never done that. I have never signed more than 4 customers. That sounds like a huge number. There's 4 of us here. There's a lot of us on here that's gonna say we've signed 70 people a month or 40 to 70, whatever the number is, mass enrollers, okay? So don't count yourself out. Just like Carrie said, whoever they are for the customer, if they're buying coffee, let them buy your coffee. We will help you with that. Go to your upline if you can't sign a customer. Like Rachel said in the beginning, be grounded with your time. I have a 2-year-old underneath me all the time. I work full time. I now have a team of workers because I was selective all of September. I was very selective. I spend a lot of time during the day training them, but also I'll relate to what others were saying tonight. I'd rather help them bring in 10 customers, them see a good paycheck versus me doing it all for them. And they're just kind of sitting in limbo like, hey, like girlfriend, you said you'd help me. Where have you been all month? And here I am just like trying to do it all by myself. And that's just the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, to touch on the bonus, I have almost earned it for the second time. I'm just knocking on the door, a couple more loyal customers and I'll be done for the second time. Does it sound surreal to say yes? Do I want to speak the belief into you? Borrow my belief. Like I still am like, is this really, like, is this real? I've never ever fathomed having $5,000 around Christmas time. Normally that was a time our family would struggle. I would be begging my relatives, please, let's do a white elephant. they would ask me what I want for Christmas. I would say nothing because I knew I couldn't buy them anything back. Like, please, I don't need anything. Where now, I mean, now that money I've worked so hard for, I'm going to be spending it very wisely and saving most of it, to be honest. But that's just me. That's where I'm at my life right now. But just give yourself the chance. If you're on here and you're brand new, you can go sign a distributor tomorrow, and you can sign a distributor that's willing to learn. And another thing about the distributor scripts and sending that YouTube video, you can be selective. I think all three ladies on here talking tonight mentioned this, because if someone doesn't want to sit and watch your 30-minute opportunity video, how are you going to get them to sit and message for 10 minutes? Okay, so pick and choose, be selective. If someone, I had this one girl, I finally just blocked her. I mean, she's strung me along, I think all of September. I wanted to believe in her and have so much faith in her. And she would say, I get paid this day, and then it would be payday. I'd follow up with her. She'd ghost me. It would be the next day or the next payday. And then she would send me a screenshot of a negative bank account. You know, so I truly wanted to help her. And I should have saw the red flags as they came. But I am not a mass distributor enroller yet. Do I want to become one? Yes. Will I probably do this bonus 3 times? Absolutely. Rachel and I talked about it in Tennessee, and she knows I'm money motivated, just like Bethany said, just like Becky, Carrie. I like to my money where I can see it, and that's in my bank account. So if someone's going to give me, it's just like having a JLB. You know, JLB is giving you a $5,000 bonus to simply find for a friend a couple times. Okay, so let's just break it down. Let's not make it harder than it is. I don't want to preach too much because, like I said, like, know your strengths, know your weaknesses, reach out to your upline so that they can help you. I know that I'm weak in a lot of areas, but it's taken me months to realize and see that, and not be like a glass half empty person. I could sit there and say, oh, I talked to 10 people, they all said no for a cleanse. Or I could say, I talked to 10 people, maybe I should go ask 10 more. Because my family they all know I'm getting that Christmas cash multiple times. So I'm going to prove it to my son, my spouse, my family, everyone. And so I just want to say 6 weeks left. It's the 1st of November. Choose your heart.
One more thing. That was super good, but they see you right now on here as like, wow, she's like the beast that's gonna do Christmas cash 2 times and then 3 times, maybe even 4 times. But what about the hiccup you had last month? Unless you don't want to talk about it, if you change your mind.
No, I can definitely talk about it. Okay. So I had a key player on my team that decided to quit right in the middle of the month and couldn't tell me, like, you know, honestly, we're really good friends. She couldn't tell me she was quitting, so she strung me along closer to the end of the month, and then finally like threw in the towel, which was very hard for me. Like, it almost felt like a lot of different emotions, which I know a lot of you have been there when you lose a key player, but I had to sit back and really look at my chart, and I was giving her so much of my time, like her excuses, her reasoning of why she couldn't do certain things, her comparing herself to me, like, you've already earned the bonus. And I was able to step back and look at other girls on my team that would never act that way or never do that or have open arms for me to say, show me how to earn this bonus. And so it was almost like a freeing moment when she left. It was like, okay, goodbye. Like, now I can actually focus on my little sweet pea that is really material for this business, or the few other moms that have joined me in the last, since September, in the last 8 weeks, that need my time, that deserve my attention. So if you feel like you're dragging someone like dead weight, you're begging them to come to Zooms, you're begging them to sign customers, you're asking them to screenshot you or print things out, or trying to lead by example, and they're not leading, at some point you just have to learn to give up. Because there's so many people out there. So Rachel texted me like, hey, like, you can talk about that if you want to, like losing your key player. And I went to my phone and I was like, through it, and I was like, oh, if that's my key player, like, I can't wait to see what I have to work with, because I know there's a lot of key players out there. I know there's a lot of Becky's, Bethany's, Carrie's, Rachel, a lot of you that are on here already. That's who I'm looking for. I'm looking for those type of people. I'm not looking for a key player that I have to beg to come to this Zoom. Like, we have spent our quality time doing this. We're here for you guys. I'm here to share with everyone. I'm not here to brag, oh, I've earned it twice. Oh, I have such and such amount of money. No, like I worked my tail off September 1 to now, and it doesn't feel like hard work to me. And it's not. I'm just consistent every day. I show up every day, just like Carrie, Bethany, Becky said, stay close to the fire, your mindset. Hey, read a couple books. I'm not a big reader, but I learned a lot about myself in the last few months of reading. Grab a couple books, go work your business, believe in yourself. You can do this.
I love that so much. And I feel like this was the perfect way to end. I will go around one more time in case you guys have like a spitfire thing. We have our diamond time after this, so I have to shut it down. But if just, I know what it's like to talk in the beginning and be like, oh, I forgot something. So I'll let them go one more time. But, you know, something that I love, and I think three of them talked about was, I mean, I don't love this, but they talked about losing rank. And I know that so often we get caught up in that and it becomes our identity. And honestly, like I remember losing triple, I lost triple diamond like the first 1.0, and it was like devastating. Like it honestly like put a cramp in my marriage. Like that's how freaking much it like I was obsessive over it. And I remember Zach being like, why does it matter? Like if you lose rank, like why is it that big of a deal? And I was like, I feel like it's literally a stamp on my forehead. Like I feel like if I worked so hard and for me not to maintain, I feel like everyone's gonna know. And that's just what it felt like. And I knew in my head, no, not everybody would know, only people above me, but it freaking hurt me to the core. So I understand what some of you might be feeling, but what I want you to remember is what we have in our hands with Christmas cash. And you know, I think Chelsea had mentioned this, and hopefully she doesn't mind if I mention it if she didn't, but she lost double diamond for the first, she got it at the beginning of the year, maintained it every single month. She's made thousands of dollars, a lot of money, and she lost it last month. And you wouldn't know by looking at her, but you know, something that like I told her was like, I know it's going to hurt the first time you don't maintain your rank, but you guys, she probably made double, maybe triple what that bonus was in her weekly bonuses. So whatever she made in her double diamond bonus that she won't get next month, she's made thousands of dollars in her weekly bonuses. And so it almost just makes it sting a little less. And it reminds you that there is more way you can make an income. Sample cash, like Bethany said, weekly bonuses, 4-in-1. So just don't get wrapped up in that, because it can almost be like debilitating in a sense. And it's so yuck. It's just so gross. So with that being said, last minute, like spitfire, you guys will just go in the same order. If not, just say like, it's a no. I don't have anything, but Beth, do you have anything last minute thoughts?
The only thing that I was gonna say, just from like listening to everyone talk, because Rachel's right, like all of a sudden you're like, oh, I need to talk about that, I need to talk about that, but was just, if you heard anything, it's just, if there's an area that you're like, okay, I related to Chelsea on this because of this, or I really could use an extra, like I could use extra cash right now and I can't wait until my Friday bonus, or I can't wait until this, or maybe it's, okay, I need help with loyal customers. And they were talking about committing myself to the cleanse hosted post. If you heard anything, it's just commit yourself to it, and don't do it for a couple days and then be like, okay, that was great, but that's not really working for me. You know, with hosted post, I always tell my team, if you're going to commit to cleanse this month and you're going to commit to it and you're going to do it like all week, and then if it still doesn't work for you after that, then come talk to me about it. But you can't do like 2 days worth of cleanse hosted post and say, well, cleanse post just doesn't work. That's not true. Go do more. The same thing with sample cash. Like if you put up one sample post and it flops and no one comments on it, and then you're just like, well, I guess I just can't sell samples. It's like, no, we didn't do that to get to where we are. I didn't go triple diamond by saying, oh, well, I'm going to try this a few different ways. And then like, if it just doesn't work, it just doesn't work. No, when I went triple, that was one of the hardest freaking promotions of my life. And it was just like pushing after and committing. So whatever you do this month, whether it's you need more help with distributor hosted posts, or you need to make some sample cash, or whatever it is, just to choose to commit yourself to it and give it your whole freaking butt. I was going to say ass, but then, okay, I still said it. There you go. So there's that. I'm muting myself.
Okay, so my just quick thing, kind of staying along with what I talked about, and I probably mentioned it already, but I think have fun. If you're like me, I mean, blue's not my dominant personality, but I do like to have fun, and I can get like bored easily and distracted easily and all the things, but have fun. And you know, I guess I have a couple of things that I didn't mention. Don't be afraid to, I think we've heard it, but to reach out to ask for help. If there's someone on the Zoom that spoke that you related to, you know, it's okay to ask them for advice or help. You know, I think we're all willing to help and share. So to just let go of that pride maybe and be able to ask for help. But also, as far as like new distributors go, I'm seeing more and more the importance of the building the relationship, and also investing time. So for me, I know time is money, and I'm like, whew, training even two people is a lot of work in the beginning, and who knows how long that could last for. But I am just so grateful. Okay, that's what I'll end on, the gratitude, and especially here in the month of November, but just being so grateful. Like, yes, it's taking time away that I could be getting up post to post myself, as far as like taking time to train new people, but it's worth it because I'm training them. They're going to then be able to train their new people, and it's going to be a domino effect, and it's going to pay off in the long run. And I don't know, like, people just want to know that you care about them, and by investing your time in them and showing that you care about them more than just them being a distributor on your team and they are your friend, I'm just excited for it.
Carrie, do you have anything? It's not letting you unmute. Let me see if I can ask you. Oh, I'm clicking it. Uh-oh. Aw, womp womp. Is it not popping up on your end? Oh, okay. That's my biggest fear, is that my mouse or my keyboard will die. Okay, well, Carrie had something really positive. She said, just, be you, be bold, be awesome, never give up. Chelsea, did you have anything too, or were you doing? Okay, cool. I didn't know if you're speaking for Carrie. Both of you, both of the C's were like, we're done. Okay, guys, on that note, this was awesome. This was really great. I hope that you just took at least one thing, you guys. It's nothing, there's no magical things that you probably don't know. You just need to go back to doing it. Like using a task list is not new to me. It's just something I haven't done in a while. It's time to switch it up so that I can have fun again. It's the same thing for you. So what I love about this is now Carrie mentioned it. Someone else did too. It's like, you guys, we get to make the decision. We get to make the decision tomorrow. I made a decision this morning. I'm like, I'm restarting. It's day one all over again. We don't have to pay the $150 to start over again. We get to mentally make up our minds. So I love you guys. What an honor to be able to do this. And hopefully you guys loved it. And I can't wait to just see how your guys' week goes. Have a good night.